Widodo, distinguished guests, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have a prepared speech, but I will not read it, not because the Americans are not here, but because I would like to add something to the dimensions of our friendship. First, I affirm that the Indonesians and the Filipinos are brothers by blood because we come from the same genetical order, the Malay race. And as a matter of fact, actually, the Philippines at that time, the islands, was part of the Sri Visayas Empire of the Malay. I really forgot his name because it has long been history. But ever since, we have always considered ourselves as Malay. And that is why all of us are handsome and beautiful. I also affirm our brotherhood and my commitment to do everything to promote and enhance this brotherhood. I commit that there will never be a time that we'll have any questions about our territories and about our policies because we share the same values. I commit that we will, during our time, follow a path of neutrality, just like your country, Indonesia. It's always been neutral. And though my color is a bit blurred, I would like to just be also like Indonesians. Neutral and no color, except just being handsome and beautiful. I also affirm our fight against drugs. It is your problem, it is my problem, and we will have to interdict. Mr. President, I did not order a police punitive action. This is not a matter of just only the worry belongs to the police. By the sheer number in my country, about 3,700,000, I have declared war. And that is why a lot of them are killed, but I'm just giving you this, at least an added information, that unlike the poppy, opium, and the derivative is the cocaine and heroin, and even marijuana, maybe not in a very abusive use, it's not that lethal. But shabu is a mixture of deadly chemicals. And even the water used to melt the shabu is the water we use to put into our batteries, in the car battery. That is how toxic it is. And the forensics of the America, not us, did a study, because it's being produced now in Mexico in numbers also, so that constant use for about 6 months to 1 year of shabu will shrink the brain of a person. And therefore, rehabilitation is no longer a viable option. So what would we do with this problem? And I can understand your death penalty. It is right. It should be. The only problem is in my country, they remove the death penalty. And so many are just being abusive. And that is why it gave rise to many issues about human rights. Because in my city, when I was mayor, that was a statement, a sweeping one, that you go out of the city, you criminals, you kidnappers and drug pushers. Because if you stay here, I will kill you. That was really a policy. Whether I did it at all or not, is there an American here? Well, that is something which I shared with the President. That is a matter that is being, well, discussed only among, I'm not being, feeling big. But that matter should only be discussed. There are matters which belongs only to us in our minds. And you can just see what is in our mind by the way our subordinates would run the show. And so, before I end, Mr. President, people of Indonesia, please accept my gratitude for accepting us here as brothers, and I will also commit this tonight that your brothers in my country will be treated as Filipinos worldwide. And we'll even allow them to vote. Go ahead and vote, because I've always been voting anyway, so we know that. Yeah, because you're gonna treat them. For those Indonesians who are really there, who were born there, they vote. Because they are included in the census. So they vote. So next time I would say, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, who shall I vote? And said, call your Indonesian friends who are the candidates. But anyway, it might be a joke, but it is true. For those who have been born here, who never had the chance to travel, they are all Filipinos, and we love them. And as a matter of fact, we informed the President when we were young. We were in the same neighborhood with the Secretary of Finance. The consul then was Rinkerwang, and Sunny got his number, and we met since we separated, but they were the vice consul of Indonesia. And they can tell you that we have, as much as we have identified always with you. On the last note, I would say that, I said, this is just event of life, and I want the Filipinos to forever remember this. During the 1972 oil crisis, when the oil-producing nations tried to control the price by just lowering their production and making it hard for everybody to get hold of oil, there was this crisis. And the Philippines was hard-pressed. And there was a time when there was already ration everything. But at some point of that crisis, Indonesia came up with a very strong statement. Do not worry. You will have your oil, and you will continue to progress. For that alone, and for the many things that you have done, Mr. President, if you want to get back to the imperialists, and if you want to invade the Dutch in the Europe, tell us, we will join you. Maraming salamat po. Salam. Salam. And may I propose a toast to the good health of President Widodo, and may Indonesia continue to be a beautiful country for the next 1,000 years. Not for public consumption.
Yes, please. But it was raised.
I said not for public consumption.
Sir, did you also talk about the measures for drugs offenders? Exchange ideas or give suggestions?
No. I said that to continue to respect each other's judicial processes. The rule of law is what matters.
Sir,
Keeps order to the community.
there are 700 pilgrims, Indonesian pilgrims who are in Megarite, and they're scheduled to arrive in the Philippines by end of the month, and I think they're using Philippine passports.
Yes, because they cannot land elsewhere. That would not be allowed because they are known to be Indonesian citizens actually using the passports. When they arrive, we will expedite their immediate repatriation here to Indonesia. What?
by?
No, nothing at all. Nothing of the sort. Not the problem.
So,
Sir,
They were just juke, and there are some operators there. Those are the guys that we are looking for. But for the who went there to take the opportunity using the passports issued by the government of the Philippines is not really. It's something which I consider not really criminal.
yeah. So you would rather consider them as
As fast as they come to the Philippine jurisdiction, we will, I said, cause the issuance of the Indonesian passports as fast as it can be processed, and they can go home. No problem about that. I do not intend to detain or even to investigate them. Yung dito na, it's the Indonesian government's maybe when they come back here.
Sir, pwede yung pa-expound yung maritime security cooperation?
Yes, because there is a lot of piracy there, or piracy, if you may. And it has prevented the two countries from comfortably exchanging commerce and trade because of the kidnappings and the seizure of the ships by the pirates. We will come up with a strong measure. We will. I will wait for the draft. But we and I and President Widodo, we have agreed to end this problem now.
And the problem would mean
It means that there will be some interdiction by their armed forces and the armed forces of the Philippines. And that is not really a warning, but just a statement
joint patrol.
that we have decided to end this problem once and for all.
With Malaysia, sir, or tayong
With Malaysia, of course. Did we tripartite? Because they have, I said, impeded trade and commerce between us.
Last
So-
two questions.
In the area of the joint patrol, is there any more details, agreement, like how far Indonesian army can go to the Philippines area? Like, can you give us?
Well, I maybe what's in my mind really is now the hot pursuit. And if the hot pursuit is done on the high seas, international waters, they can. And they can even arrest or destroy them if they present a violent resistance.
But would it
vice
be
versa, sir?
But entering the Philippine waters, we have agreed really also to just coordinate. And if there is a pursuit, in the meantime, they can radio or call our forces nearby to take over because we are entering your jurisdiction.
Sir, would it be on top of the existing border patrol agreement?
Yes,
with
because
Indonesia?
this time, personally, I would allow the pursuit until such time that there is a competent Philippine authority that would take over in the chase.
One more
Sir, how
question.
would you, sir, assess yung international debut mo sa ASEAN para sa inyo naman galing?
Well, this is not. This is just regional. You wait for international. This is just. If it's a birthday, it's just like my 16th birthday, not the 18th.
But how would you judge your performance, sir?
Well, I suppose that I delivered my piece every time, and I made an extemporaneous speech inside, but nobody was invited in. So, if you're not invited in, meaning to say that you're not supposed to hear it. So, if you're not supposed to hear it there, you're not supposed to hear it out.
But we heard it in a speech, sir, this morning.
Oh, what about?
Yung sa East Asia Summit. sir.
Well, I said many issues were raised, so I took the initiative of raising the issues. We want to talk about always, we have been mentioning my name. It's bannered all around the international scene. So, inunahan ko na sila. I have a few things in my mind about human rights.
In terms of
Okay,
games,
last question from the Inquirer.
in terms of games.
Last question from the Inquirer.
Sir, can we get a copy of the photo? You showed the...
The photos, sir.
You
No, it was taken away from me by, I do not remember. I do not remember. I would not say that either.
Earlier, like, the event, did you leave the event earlier than Obama?
Yes, because I had a bilateral meeting with New Zealand.
Okay, thank you.
Now.
Nagkasalisi kayo ni Obama.
Hindi.
Ay, talagang umalis ka na. Hindi na kayo bumalik ulit.
No, the holding room before getting there sa ano, we had a talk and that's supposed to be public.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Were you able to relay your message across in that ASEAN meeting? Really? Were you satisfied of your
The statement of
Yeah.
the
I
statement of the
am not
president.
the proper authority to ask that question.
That question
That
was
is a self-serving answer will be given. You ask the ambassadors and maybe they will give you the right.
Sir, just to be
Thank
very
you.
specific, Buddha massacre sir yung nire-refer niyo. Yung 1906.
I said if it was not intended by the council to be heard by you, then it should not really be heard at all.
Pero sir, yung picture
Okay,
Buddha.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Pag sinabi mo na parang kumbaga 16th birthday.
So you said China was being
Ano ho ang susunod na outing ninyo? Ano pang ma-expect namin sa inyo?
Sec-